This is a historical moment. I would like to recognize and appreciate the speeches that we heard this morning, and also to recognize and appreciate the leadership and the pioneering example which the government of Catalonia is providing in its development of the practical tools and instruments to make effective peace building possible. What is a civil peace service? It's a new term and concept for many. Civil peace services are professionally trained and prepared capacities of people who can be deployed to work in the full range of roles and responsibilities for early warning, working to prevent the outbreak of violence before it occurs, assisting in initiatives such as mediation or civilian peacekeeping and presence on the ground, and in the full range of roles and responsibilities that are required for post-war recovery and helping countries to recover and transition after experiences of violent conflict to peace. Why do we need civil peace services? Because the reality and the situation that we are facing today in the field, on the ground, in working in areas affected by armed conflict, is that we do not have enough people who can fill key roles, who are properly prepared and properly trained to be able to meet the need that is there. What would a civil peace service mean for Catalonia? It would mean the development of a highly qualified and professionally trained capacity that can be deployed internationally. It would mean building and strengthening the pool of people who are available for working both with non-governmental organizations and civil society, and also with government in responding to and preventing the outbreak of crisis and conflicts, and in being able to contribute effectively to peace building and post-war recovery. It would help to enable an increase in expertise in Catalonia, and also the role, the profile, and the visibility of Catalonia internationally in helping to contribute to addressing situations of violent conflict and crisis prevention. It would increase the number of people from Catalonia who are able to be deployed in international missions, and it would assist those missions by improving the number and the quality of people they are able to call upon in achieving their mission. And it would help to provide vital support to organizations and agencies on the ground and from the countries themselves experiencing violence in working to overcome war and to build sustainable peace. A Catalan civil peace service would provide a model and an example. It would help to build an effective mechanism and a tool for peace building, and practically improve our ability to be able to contribute to the prevention of war, the reduction of armed violence, and post-war recovery. Today, more than 500,000 people are being killed annually as a direct result of armed violence. It's estimated that the cost of armed violence in Africa alone is more than $300 billion in destroyed infrastructure and reduced opportunities for economic development. That figure represents approximately the same sum of all international aid and development assistance that is given to Africa. In the last report of the Secretary General of the United Nations on achieving the Millennium Development Goals, it was recognized that armed violence is one of the major obstacles to achieving sustainable development. And those countries most at risk of armed violence are, in many cases, the least developed economically countries in the world. In an earlier report by the previous UN Secretary General in 2006 on the prevention of armed conflict, then Secretary General Kofi Annan called upon all governments internationally to fulfill their responsibility and contribute to building the necessary instruments and the effective architecture and infrastructure for peace building. Let's look at an example from another field. We have medical services today, something virtually unknown in the world just a few centuries ago, because we developed a standing, professionally trained body of nurses, doctors, medical health professionals. We have government infrastructure from the local to the national level of government capacities for dealing with health, ministries and departments for health. Globally, we have the World Health Organization. And in our education systems, we have health education to spread broad awareness. Still, people fall sick and die. But we have achieved tremendous advances. And it's because we have recognized that if we wish to be able to address the challenge of sickness and disease and to work for health, we need to make practical investments, build real institutional capacities, and train medical services. The same is true for peace building. War is possible because we invest more than $1.2 trillion every year in the production of weapons. We have between 2.6 and 4 million people in any given year who are trained and deployed as combatants and armed forces. If we want to be realistic in making peace practical, we need to take the responsible decisions to invest in it. In the last 20 years, the body of evidence of the effectiveness of peace building and violence prevention has grown dramatically. We have gained a wealth of experience in being able to know what works. Now we face the challenge of increasing impact by improving the institutional capacities and investing in the ability to do that work. To make a culture of peace, we need the instruments and the tools of peace. We need the strategies and the committed resources. We need a practice of peace. We don't eat as human beings because we have a culture of agriculture. We eat and survive as human beings because we have a practice of agriculture and farming. If we want to have medicine and to heal from the various sicknesses and diseases which afflict us, it's not because we have a culture of medicine only. It's because we've recognized that to have a culture of medicine effective, we need a practice of medicine. To have an authentic culture of peace, we need to build a practice of peace.